Hello and welcome to lesson 4 of writing a narrative. Today we are going to be talking about dialogue. We are going to be experimenting and discovering techniques of how to use dialogue in our writing to show, not tell. We will be doing this by using speaker tags and action beats. So in our previous lessons, we learned how to find a topic, plan a narrative, add descriptive language to our writing to show and not tell the plot line. So while all of that stuff is important, it is actually equally important to use dialogue to show and not tell the characters speaking to each other and their emotions. So this skill is going to use something called speaker tags and action beats, and knowing how to properly incorporate these into your writing will engage your reader and really allow him or her to experience the plotline of the story that you're telling. So, the main idea of using dialogue is to show reality, such as a conversation between characters. And as a writer, we do this by using speaker tags, which consist of the speaker's name and a speech-related verb, such as said, shouted, or asked. So for example, we could say, "I told you I don't like that," shouted John. And so usually we use shouted or said because other tags such as muttered and grumbled and whispered are actually distracting and pull the reader's attention away from the dialogue itself and more onto that word. And an action beat, which can also be called an action tag, so you might see it called that as well, is an alternative way to identify the speaker. So these are sentences that describe the action of the character who's talking. For example, we can look at a sentence that says, "This looks weird." Anna pushed her glasses up her nose and squinted at the text. So notice how the action beat, Anna pushed her glasses up her nose. So as a reader, you can visualize a girl sitting there or standing there pushing her glasses up her nose, and as she's doing this, she's squinting trying to read because her glasses aren't quite on all the way yet. So now that we've discussed the difference between a speaker tag and an action beat, I'd like us to look at the short narrative 7th grade by Gary Soto so that we can look at these examples in context. First, I'd like to look at paragraph 3. And in paragraph 3, we see an example of just a speaker tag. We have our character Victor, who is talking to his friend Mike on the first day of school. And when Victor notices a change in Mike, he asks the question, "How come you're making a face?" asked Victor. So your speaker tag is going to be the asked Victor. And we know this because one of our keywords for speaker tags is asked. So now, from the same text, I want to look at paragraph 5. So in this paragraph, we see an example of a speaker tag and an action beat. So if you look at the following sentences, "I think it works," Michael said. He scowled and let his upper lip quiver. In this sentence, the speaker tag is, "I think it works," Michael said. And this lets the reader know that our character Michael is the one speaking, and then the following sentence states that he scowled and let his upper lip quiver, which is our action beat. The description of "let his upper lip quiver" shows the action of our character Michael, and this is important because the reader is able to visualize Michael's emotions. We can ponder about the mentality behind his facial expressions. And the speaker beat brings the reader inside the brain of the characters. So, like I said, we can really actually think about and feel like we know that character, Michael, through this writing. So next, I want to look at an example of an action beat that is not combined with a speaker tag. And in our text, 7th grade, this is going to be found on the bottom half of page 6 if you're following along. And we can see that the action beat shows us what Victor and Teresa are doing. So we see, yeah, well, I picked up a few things from movies and books and stuff like that, and they left class together. So our action beat is they left class together. That lets me, as the reader, picture Teresa and Victor walking out the door of their classroom and into a hallway, going to their next class. And so speaker tags and action beats, as you can see, are a great way to add dialogue and action to your narrative. It provides the reader with an imagery, with sensory language. It lets the reader feel like they're part of your story, and that's what we want. We want our reader to be left wanting to read more. We don't want to leave them with questions. We don't want to leave them confused or left hanging. So now that we looked at 3 examples from that text, I want us to look at what a dialogue sounds like when we only use speaker tags. So in this excerpt, you can see there's a lot of said, replied, asked. So that's a lovely dress you're wearing, Wendy said. Thank you so much, Beverly replied. Where did you get it? Wendy asked. So as you can see, the writer provided us with the knowledge of who's speaking and when, but there's no action that goes with that to show us what's happening in the story. So it's dry, it's boring. I'm wondering, well, does Wendy really like that dress? Does Wendy really want to know where it came from? Is Beverly proud or happy that it came from Dillard's? Do they care that they have a like of that store in common? I'm left with all of these things that are not answered. So if we look at the revised version, which used speaker tags and action beats, and the action beats are also bolded, we can really see the difference. For example, the first sentence says, "That's a lovely dress you're wearing," Wendy said, wishing she had worn something beside jeans to the party. Beverly's face lit up. "Thank you so much. Where did you get it?" Wendy hoped she wasn't being too forward. "It came from Dillard's." "Oh, that's my favorite department store." "Mine too." Beverly lowered her voice to a whisper. So as you can see, this example provides the reader with knowledge of not only which characters are speaking, but how they're feeling, why they are feeling that way, what they're doing. It's showing us the setting of where this conversation is happening and everything. So it feels like I'm part of this party with these girls that I'm imagining to probably be in high school. So incorporating speaker tags and action beats brings dialogue into a text. So when you're writing your personal narrative, it's important to keep in mind how you are showing the reader what is happening. You don't want to just be telling them, throwing sentences at them. You want to have that imagery, the sensory language that we learned about, and now you want to make sure you have dialogue. But something to also keep in mind is that too much dialogue will interrupt the flow of the story. So you want just the right amount in order to create that flow that you want to go through the plot line of your story. So I want you to try adding some speaker tags and action beats to the dialogue in your narrative, and if you don't have any dialogue, I want you to add dialogue and make sure you're using the speaker tags and action beats when you do so. So some tips for going about that is I would start with finding the climax of your story. For me, that's always the place that I like to start when I'm looking to add dialogue. And once I've found my climax, I want to find one place around the climax where I can add a speaker tag and an action beat, because the climax is the most important part of the story next to the resolution. So I really want to make sure that my reader can visualize that and feel like they're there. And after you do that, I want you to find two places where you can add speaker tags in your narrative and add those. And then also find either two separate spots where you can add action beats or add action beats to those speaker tags. So in total, I want you to go back and add 3 speaker tags and 3 action tags to your narrative.